You see my
You're
family.
brown.
You see
Yeah.
my family. My family. You see me out look like this, but my sister will come here. You will not know she's my sister.
Yeah.
She's light colored, white looking.
And
the
that's the
only thing
reality.
that sets her apart. Sorry if you're listening to me, my lovely sister that I love you. She got nappy hair. Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm your host, Valentine. Expect you guys are having a wonderful day. Before I explain who this man is right here, look at this beautiful view back here, guys. Look where I'm at. I'll give you a little love, little thing on YouTube, a little heart thing, if you tell me where we're at. Beautiful city of New York back here. But let's get right into it. On today's show, we're gonna be talking about this topic that has it has come into society, and some way it has gone into my channel. I have had to address this topic various times, and we're gonna talk about it again. To my right, we have Truth Teacher. Who is Mr. Truth Teacher? Believe it or not, he's one of you guys. He found my channel. I don't even know how he found my channel, but he found my channel. He has commented on my channel. He's seen an interview that I did before, and we started chatting. We started talking. He seemed like he had something interesting to say. We were in the same area. He's here. Let's get it. Mr. Truth Teacher, thank you so much for being with me today. We're going to be talking about this term black, this whole identity politics that the United States have found itself over, that has, I think, crept back again since, and I'm going to say it, I mean, this is how I feel. It has come back after the Obama administration. We have been concentrating so much on the tone of the skin and how it makes us different. And we're going to be talking about that. First of all, we want to say you are, or less, who are you? Are you black? Tell me your nationality, where you're from. Because if we talk, before you even speak, if you guys look at him, he could be 100% Dominican. 100%. Same color, same texture, 100% Dominican. Mr. Truth Seeker, what are you? Let these people know.
Well, I am Jamaican on both sides of my family. My mother and my father were both Jamaican.
Jamaica.
Yeah. I'm a fellow Caribeño, you know.
Okay, there you go.
To answer that question, am I black or not? Do I identify as black? No.
Oh,
and
that's strike one against that's strike one right there against the.
A lot of people will automatically have a knee-jerk reaction to that because they think that what I'm saying, when I say that, they think that I am
denying your race and your existence.
Denying my heritage, blah, blah. I'm trying to distance myself from Africans, African Americans. I think I'm better, and that's not true. It's simply that I don't agree with the system of categorizing people into these racial boxes. I don't agree with the way the government, every time you have to go for a job or to do anything, they want you to check a box.
And why don't you agree that we should not be quantified and categorized like this? Why is that bad?
Well, you know, for me, I was very confused when I was growing up because in Jamaica, we didn't do this. We didn't qualify people this way. People identified the way they wanted to. The government wasn't telling us how. And the real roots of all of this goes back to our past. It goes back to the era of slavery and colonization. And it was a way to maintain a class structure that disenfranchised those of us of interesting complexions.
So we're gonna get into the whole one drop rule situation and why does that come, and why I made a video on this, why I totally disagree with this whole one drop rule thing. But automatically you and I go into it in my video, if you are a mixed person, a biracial person, you are automatically demoted. That's how this article was saying. You are demoted to the lower race, and that lower race meant black.
And that was when I realized that was the moment, one of the defining moments when I decided, you know what, I'm not playing this game. It had nothing to do with feeling inferior or wanting to distance myself from people who do identify as black. It was that I saw that this whole system of racial classification was a game that governments have played coming from the era of colonialization and slavery for the sake of protecting their class structures. So when we look at the one-drop rule, for example, the one-drop rule wasn't designed for, quote-unquote, like, I guess, people of African descent who are not mixed. It was created for people like you and me. Because what they were afraid of, they were afraid that mixed race people would inherit wealth from their white fathers, and then pass that wealth back to their darker relatives.
Oh, so they were afraid, fear.
They were afraid of losing political, social, and economic power. And that's why they did this. From the beginning of the colonies here in the United States, and even in the Caribbean, I mean, it's the same mentality because...
So you're telling me that even Jamaicans, in Jamaica, not here, because we're gonna get the way people talk about being black in Jamaica. They don't even think about race. They don't even think about the color of their skin.
Well, let's put it this way. I wouldn't say that, but it's different. The government is not telling you how to identify or trying to put you in a box. Our motto in Jamaica is "out of many, one people."
Ooh.
Now,
what is the history? I don't know. I don't personally know the history of Jamaica. So the blacks, black people, came to Jamaica how? They were slaves from America,
first of all,
or how? Because, for example, we have a section in the Dominican Republic called Samana, where those people, they actually speak English and they have English last names. Those people were African slaves from the United States, and they went to Samana. But whether the black come in Jamaica.
Okay, well, first of all, this whole term black, we got to recognize that this in and of itself is problematic, because exactly how are you classifying this? So we're having these conversations, who's black, who's not black. Well, exactly what does that mean?
In my opinion. But there's some people here that if you ask them who's black, in the United States I'm talking about, you ask them who's black, they're automatically going to go to African Americans only. That's it.
Yeah. So this is the problem, is that everywhere you go, people have a different understanding of what blackness is. Even if you go to Africa, they have a different understanding of what that may be. Like, I had a professor of Caribbean history, and he had a friend from Sudan, South Sudan. And he came to the United States. I want to see Harlem. I heard about this wonderful African village called Harlem where there's all these black people. I want to see Harlem. So he takes him up to Harlem. And he's like, so where are the black people? And he's like,
because these are not blacks. These are not. He probably was like, these are Americans. He probably want to bring his money.
No, he says, these aren't black people. They're not black. They're little brown. These are Arabs. Where's the black people?
Oh,
because to him, black means you're really, really, really deep, dark brown.
And
if you're not, then you're not black.
People are black. They're
really that
pigment.
Deep dark chocolate.
Yes, they
so
are.
for them, if you're not deep dark chocolate, you're not black.
You're brown.
You're brown. In other parts of Africa, blackness for them, and understand that this is not a concept that Africans themselves came up with. Because you go to Africa, there's no Negro land on the map. There's no Blackistan.
Yeah.
People identified not by skin color, but by their ethnic groups.
Which is, I think I'm 100% for that.
Yeah.
And I think it's detrimental, especially to African Americans who are constantly calling themselves black. I think it's detrimental because the white people don't do that. The white people don't call themselves Caucasian Americans.
Well,
they are Americans. And I think black people, especially the African Americans from here, should take hold of, to all black people, look, and that's the thing, I say black, but I'm referring to African American. America, this is your country. Take hold of it. You are an American.
Because
Be proud
without you, this place wouldn't be here. Africans have been here since before the Mayflower. And the descendants, the ancestors of the people we call African American today, and let's just really qualify when we say African American, from a genetic standpoint, they're not racially pure either.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because they are a little bit, You know,
There's a whole range.
There's a whole range of
There's a whole range.
I think Dave Chappelle and these people who make fun of it, which
Yeah.
is great. They call them like there's some
Well,
yellow blacks.
You know, Dave Chappelle is biracial.
He is. I didn't even know that.
He's
What is
got.
he?
He's I think either his mother is white or his grandmother. He's got.
Okay. He don't look mixed. He don't look. But
You can't tell by by looking on the surface all the time.
And let me clarify. You know, for African Americans, this is your country, but there's other races that this is also their country. This is what makes the United States great. This country does not belong to white people only. This country does not belong to black people only.
Without African Americans, this country wouldn't be what it is today.
It doesn't belong to the Native Americans only. I mean, they were the original owners, but right now the United States, it's a huge melting pot of different countries and people. If you're born here, like my children are, I'm Dominican, but my children are Americans.
Yeah.
They are Americans. They're not Dominicans. And that's just the truth. They come from Dominican heritage, but they're not Dominicans. They're Americans.
I mean, and I think also that us as immigrants, cultural misunderstandings aside, we do owe a lot to African Americans because it was because of their hard work why your children are American citizens.
Yeah.
Why I can call myself an American citizen because I was born here. It was because of their struggle that we have these rights.
Before you continue, I want to thank everybody. If you made it this far, congratulations. Thank you so much for being with me on this channel. This channel is something a little bit different than what you see on the internet. This is a Christian channel, no cursing, but everybody's welcome on this channel. I just want to be able to open up the dialogue. That's all. We can have different viewpoints, but we could still be called humans at the end of the day. We literally don't have to kill each other if I don't agree with anything that my fellow brother or sister has to say about a certain topic. We have to be able to, acknowledge each other and respect each other. Subscribe to the channel, share the content, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all that. I will be leaving Mr. Truth Teacher's info on the comments. So if you want to check out his channel and see what he has to say. We were talking about Jamaica.
Yeah.
Where does the African
influence in Jamaica
come from? Because I guarantee that also in Jamaica they also had Indians, like they had the Dominican Republic too.
It's the same. Now here's the difference between Jamaica and DR, for example. Initially, both of us were owned by Spain.
Yeah.
But the Caribbean islands in general, once Spain found Mexico and Peru and all that gold and silver, they kind of left us in the dust. They really didn't focus that heavily on us. So they used our islands as way stations for the ships going back and forth. So what you had were cowboys raising cattle. That was the work that they did. Now in 1655, the British took Jamaica away from Spain.
Yeah.
So the initial Africans, they came to Jamaica the same way the Africans came to the Dominican Republic, through slavery. And they were doing the same thing in the same capacity.
Makes perfect sense, yeah.
But Dominican Republic, Spain wasn't really focusing on them like that. The British, this was like their big chance now to be a player on this, global stage of, the Americas.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So for them, sugarcane production was huge.
Yeah.
And that necessitated the importation of massive amounts of Africans.
Slaves.
The Tainos who were still there, what happened was when the Spanish...
They were called Tainos too in
Yeah, the same thing. The language is Arawak, the people are Tainos.
In Jamaica too, there were...
Yeah.
There were look at that.
Yeah, those are our ancestors too.
Okay.
So what happened in Jamaica now, when that happened, when that change happened, those Africans and the remaining Tainos that were there, they fled to the mountains. And they created maroon societies that actually fought off the British. So at a certain point, the British realized that they couldn't conquer these people, and they were an autonomous region in the mountains of Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
So we have that. Subsequently, so the overwhelming majority of people in Jamaica are of predominantly African origin.
Yeah. You could say it. You could see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
coming back, you want to say
but
something?
we also have people like myself, a certain segment of the society that are mixed race, or mixed between Europeans.
No,
and
you're not
other
mixed. You're
people.
black. They want to know you're black. You can't say you're biracial. You can't say you're mixed. You got to say you're black, because if not, it's the end of the world. I mean,
hey, I look at it this way. Just from a genetic standpoint, the truth of what I am. Like, for example, if you had a cup of grape juice and somebody was allergic to apple juice, right? And you pour some of that apple juice in that grape juice, well, is it still grape juice? Oh, yeah, it's grape juice. But if I have an allergy and I drink that, I'm going to freaking die.
You better find out that what's in there. You have to know exactly what's in there, which is true.
I did my DNA. I know my history. I'm predominantly African, but I'm a quarter European.
Okay.
And then there's some other little interesting things in there, too.
Makes perfect sense. I haven't done it, and I want to do it, but my cousin did it.
23andMe, you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
So in Jamaica, we classify people primarily by their appearance. So if you're really dark, you're black.
Yeah.
But with that, we understand that you could be exteriorly black, but still mixed.
Yeah.
People like me, typically, they'll say, oh, well, he's not black, he's brown.
Yeah.
So my brother's really dark.
Yeah.
They'll say, he's black, I'm brown. And I was like, but Pat, like, we're brothers.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't matter.
You see my family.
You're brown.
You see my family. My family, you see me, I'll look like this, but my sister will come here. You will not know she's my sister.
Yeah.
She's light colored, white looking.
And
the
that's
only
the reality.
thing that sets her apart. Sorry if you're listening to me, my lovely sister that I love you. She got nappy hair.
Well,
so she got nappy hair. Okay, Kiki. No, you can't even say bad. You can't even say bad hair, but okay, Kiki hair. She got, and she knows that. And I mean, it's just reality. But now you can't say anything because everything
has she gone natural?
No, she has actually. That's the new movement. She has done, and she looks great. I mean, but she's mixed. She just looked like a biracial. So to summarize this, I'm thinking that there's a huge misunderstanding of just the terminology behind that word.
Terminology, because
black and people, because like I did one of my original videos. You see this young Dominican girl saying she's not black, I'm Dominican. So now she's mixing two things. She's mixing
so
skin
much
color
confusion
with culture. And you know. And she's mixing two things, but she doesn't know. That's the thing.
That's the thing, and a lot of people are confused.
I think so. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Truth Teacher, to be with me. Guys, what do you think about this crazy topic? Hopefully, I mean, it's not crazy, it's logical, but I think that this has just come to surface because now for some reason, our color of our skin is important.